Now then, my fellow daggers. So yesterday we had a little video of the bus trip, train trip, how easy it is for us disabled people to get about. Nothing to it. Just remember, plan ahead. Get some alternative plans if things start to go wrong. Just to move on to my new location. Well, is as you can see, this is where we've got to at the moment. On our video we're in Knaresborough. This is Knaresborough Castle. I'll get you some more pictures in the bedroom. Usually there's my fat belly there, on here. I'll try and get it back to where we were. But I know you don't really want to see my ugly face, but we can do. Yeah, so here we go then. So I'll set that down. Right, Knaresborough Castle. All accessible to you. No reason why you can't come. I'll take you around the castle a little bit. I'll try and give you a little bit of history, if I can. The castle itself, I believe, was something around, the first bits of it were put together, I believe, somewhere around, not 1066, but just after. There was a settlement here, of course, when the Normans came. Then this is the castle. It was Norman times. So there has been a castle here for quite some time. Not in its, well, obviously its present form is fallen down, but Mr. Cromwell decided he'd knock it down for us. Oh, well done, Mr. Cromwell. There you go. So much for Parliament. Aye. So there's a little bit of history of where I am and what I'm doing here. And I'm hoping I'm going to give some nice little videos of, you know, with my little travels, and try and give you a sense of how easy it is to get around. I'm on the gateway to the, basically the gateway to the Yorkshire Dales, which I'm going to be going on to, and hopefully get you some more pictures up as we go along. Anyway, I'll move on to another little video in a minute. Well, we're back at Lover's Leap, this is called. Now, I'm actually on the battlement of the castle here, and looking down towards the old middle, and you can see this river here, the River Nid, was tidal until really quite recent times. And you used to actually be able to get these ships all the way up here to break up. A lot of the buildings around the area are made from old ships' beams, and you can still see the evidence of in the older houses of the breaking up of the old ships. Down below now, just try and pan back around again, is, as I said, the Lover's Leap, where that oval lot of railings are. Many years ago when I was a child, them railings were only about waist height. And the idea being on Lover's Wood, as these things happen, decided they're going to bother it with any longer and hold hands and jump off the end onto the streets below. Aye, place of broken dreams. So it's a little bit of a story for you, looking down from there, and I'll just try and pan around, and everybody thinks I'm completely mad because I'm talking to myself, but we'll try and give you a little bit. That's just behind me is the cenotaph up at the top of the castle, and we'll move on a little bit further round. Probably just some more little bit of video. Just do follow on round then. It's a lovely, this is beautiful on a sunny day. Unfortunately we haven't got the sun today, but it doesn't really matter, doesn't take anything away from it. Talking about, we got a wrong angle again. Talking about Lover's Leap there, we've just been discussing. Once they fenced off Lover's Leap, everybody decided it was a really good idea to jump off the railway bridge. So that's everything been fenced off now to stop people from doing that. You can see in the bottom there in Knaresborough, part of the River Nid, as we said earlier. this is absolutely brilliant. You come along here, get a rowing boat, a punt, anything you canoe, anything you fancy, and go on the River Nid up there, underneath the bridge and underneath further on the road bridge. Yeah, a bit more history. But where you seen that little road, that never was a little road when I was a kid. That was just a little footpath going along there. It eventually takes you around to Mother Shipton's, which we might get a chance to discuss a bit later. But yeah, Mother Shipton's, if I just kind of pan around a bit, is up in them woods at the top up there, following back round from the weir for the old mill there. It's hidden away in the back of there, but we'll try and get some better views of it for you. And just panning back around. Yeah, I do have a wealthy relative who lives in all that fancy houses at the top of there. It's all like terraced all the way down to the bottom there. Quite an unusual build. Anyway, that's so much for that one. I'll move back round and we'll get a bit more. Right, there we are after for now. That's as good as it's going to get. So just I've got a nice little sheltered place. So I'll give you a little history lesson. But remember, this is history according to Bach, so don't take it for gospel. We're outside the walls of the castle here. I've talked about a little bit of the real early history. I mean, the Normans, they then took it on, and this is, as far as I'm aware, is a Norman-built castle. There's many of them going up the Nidder Valley and into the Yorkshire Dales. So I'm giving you just a little bit of a brief look. We'll go a bit further. We'll talk about some more things. What was I talking here talking to you about the accessibility, the history, as we're talking to you now, of this area. If any of my daggers are coming to join me at any time in the future on my little travels around the country. Right, history lesson. Let's get back to where we were. History lesson. Yeah, the castle itself finally really came to its end. It is a big castle here. I'll try and give you some scale a bit later on. We'll try and have a little run around. We'll have a chat about it. It's a fairly big castle, and a lot of the town at one time, well, a very small town at the time, I suppose, would have been concentrated inside the walls, and times that when, you know, going back through the ages, people, the safety of the castle walls would have come inside here. It is, like I say, a fairly large castle and pretty formidable. It's only really accessible to anybody from one side only. You've got the gorge and the river below, and it's kind of built on a meandering of the River Nid, so the river kind of goes round from one side right away around to the other side from, well, I'm not going to say, I do believe it will be from west to east around the castle as I'm thinking about it. North is where I'm looking towards, and south is behind me. I think I'm orientated in the right direction. So yeah. So we get as far as the fact that the English Civil War was a big issue around here, and the controlling power around this area, obviously being the Royalists, occupied the castle at the time, and Cromwell on his little run around the country, destroying these places and overwhelming the Royalists eventually. Remember, we're not far away from some quite famous battles between the Royalists and Cromwell and his new army. this one, this castle finally, there is a garrison house I'll show you. It's been rebuilt, so it's not as it would have been years ago. There was only a very small garrison that were kept here, really, from the royalist side of things. I think there was, I do believe it was very, I'm not going to quote numbers, but it was a very small garrison. Only in a matter of 20, 30 odd men that were actually here. Surprisingly enough, they held out for something like, I think, 15 days against Cromwell and the Roundheads. Cromwell brought a cannon which you maybe have heard about, Big Bess, or whatever it was called, which was really just for siege and breaking down castles, which it did very well here. You will have noticed on the side I'm on now is roughly the side where it's about daft it seems, it's quite literally about 2 miles out of Knaresborough, where the cannon was actually set up on top of a hill to bombard the castle, a bit like Scarborough I suppose in a way, to bombard this castle here. And unlike Scarborough, they actually held out. And they held out for about 15 days of bombardment, even though there was only a few men here. And eventually the walls on this side of the keep here were finally demolished and breached, and they surrendered to the new army under Cromwell. And that's kind of pretty much the history of the castle. It was First World War, Second World War, it was a garrison here in the First and Second World War, and there is a building in the middle of the castle here that shows where they were kept. Now it is the museum. Unfortunately for us that are disabled, the only part of the museum is accessible, but it's well worth a visit and a look around. And I don't think they'll charge you, because they don't charge you, I know they don't, because they can't get to every part of the museum. It also, the guardhouse used to serve as where hangings and judgments were given out by the judge and jury of the day. So the actual place where people were actually given their sentence, the dock, is all still intact. You can go and have a look at that. Lots of little bits of history, as I say, all accessible. You know, you can quite happily get around the castle grounds in any kind of wheelchair, buggy or whatever you bring here, really. Bring a skateboard. Anyway, we'll move on. Let's carry on our little history lesson. There is the newly built garrison house. I mean, it was rebuilt for First and Second World War, and it was held as a garrison for, you know, modern day times and not. But some nice little pictures here. I love all these little incoes and little bits of broken down. See that there? You know, that's you photographic people out there. And I know you love your cameras, but you know, at one time there was never a gate there, you know, and it was brilliant for, what's the word for it, getting a photograph there with a nice arch and you and your girlfriend there in the middle of it all. Oh, many happy memories, eh? And panning around a little bit more, there's the last of what is the keep. You've seen the other side is very intact, really, compared with this side where Cromwell and his cannon pretty much destroyed the damn thing altogether. We'll move around a little video again here. That little bit of gate and that little wall there, it's there in the middle of the grounds of the castle. It kind of give you an idea if you go around. That's the main gate, or one of the main gates. There's two actually, leading into Knaresborough itself. We'll just pan around for a minute where the kids are playing now. That, years ago when I was a kid, it still is. you still can actually go out through there, is the escape tunnel for the castle. And when I was a kid, the only thing that was over the top of that was two Yorkshire flagstones, and you could still get in through the cliffside on the eastward side of the castle. You could still, where you went down to Lower's Leap, which you know, with the video of, you could get in through the tunnel there, and this is where it led to inside the castle. So there was an escape way for them, for people to get in and out the castle if they needed to. I'll just pan around. That's the new Garrison House. Well, it isn't any longer, it's a museum now, but it used to be the old Garrison House. But you can kind of get the scale of things as we go around. It's not the best of days, I know, but you get an idea of it. Panning round there, and then I'll try and walk back around this way. And back to the gators. I don't think there's any need to show you, but if we go back to you can still see all where the portcullis and the gates were there, and don't think this had a barbican. I think it was just gates and a portcullis. Anyway, we'll move on. Just a last little video over the castle there, over the castle here. That's the keep in the middle. The walls run all the way around here. Pan right around. That's the cenotaph, and there's bits of the walls there. Cromwell did a rather good job of destroying it, to be quite honest with you. There is a nice bit of it left. Like these are the old barracks, and it carries on round and round and round and round. Yeah, but just what I want to talk about on a lovely sunny day, which unfortunately is not today. Most people in Knaresborough turn out hunting times and come and have a picnic out here on the greens and up by the trees behind. You can't really see to the moment. All the treed area down and around the back of the castle, other side of the castle. And there's a nice little bulls green here. And I say there's the museum over there. Oh, just a last little look. It's getting a bit late, a bit dull, so there's not much point carrying on now. So we'll call it a day for today.